The desert wind howled like a living memory, hot, dry, and endless. Beneath a sun that scorched the very bones of the earth, a convoy of U.S. Marines moved through the dunes of Iraq, kicking up dust and silence in equal measure. But amid that silence, buried beneath layers of forgotten sand, something stirred, a glint of metal half covered by time, a pair of rusted dog tags, etched with a name long erased from official records. Michael Ray Carter, USMC. For years, that name had lived only in whispers. The soldiers called him the Ghost, the man who went missing on a mission that no one talked about in a war that left more questions than answers. His file had been marked MIA, presumed dead. But stories lingered. Some said they saw him leading civilians out of ambush zones. Others swore he appeared in flash floods to save stranded troops only to vanish again. No proof, no body. Just the myth of a man too brave to die, and too haunted to return. When the Pentagon received the report that Michael's dog tags had been found, buried beneath a broken transport vehicle deep in the Al-Hadar desert, it reignited a flame long thought dead. A recovery team was dispatched. The officers expected bones, wreckage, closure. What they didn't expect was the journal they found beside the tags, half burned, its pages holding the truth that no one had ever been ready to read. It began 12 years earlier. Captain Michael Ray Carter was a man of quiet resolve, the kind who never shouted orders but commanded respect through the calm in his eyes, a father of one, husband to a nurse named Emily, and a Marine with more heart than ego. He led Echo Company during one of the darkest stretches of the Iraq War, an era when missions went wrong more often than they went right. His last mission, Operation Iron Dune, was supposed to be routine, escort a convoy of medical supplies across the desert. But in war, routine doesn't exist. Halfway through the route, his unit was ambushed by insurgents. The radio went dead, the Humvees burned, and chaos tore through the sand like wildfire. Michael rallied his men, coordinating fire while shielding the medics and civilians caught in the crossfire. But the enemy was everywhere, shadows moving faster than sound. When the dust settled, only a handful of his men made it out. Michael was gone. The official report said he was missing. The military moved on, families mourned, and his name was carved onto the wall of heroes at Arlington. But Emily never believed it. She would sit by their old farmhouse porch every night staring into the horizon, whispering the same words. "If you're out there, Mike, come home." What no one knew was that Michael had survived. The explosion had thrown him deep into the dunes, where he was found unconscious by a group of Bedouin nomads. His legs were shattered, his memory fragmented. When he woke, he didn't know who he was. The villagers took him in, nursed him back to life, and gave him a name in their tongue, Al-Ruh, the spirit. Over time, fragments of memory returned, flashes of uniforms, a child's laugh, a woman's eyes, a promise to protect. But no words. He lived among them, herding goats, repairing water wells, helping locals survive the war's fallout. Yet something deep inside him always ached, a hollow pull toward a life he couldn't recall. Then one night, the village was attacked by extremists hunting for American allies. Michael's instincts took over. Without hesitation, he fought like a soldier reborn, disarming men with precision, protecting families, and saving lives with the same calm, fierce purpose he once carried into battle. Word spread. A mysterious foreigner, half soldier, half ghost, was appearing in war zones, rescuing children, warning convoys before ambushes, vanishing before anyone could thank him. He had no name, no country, no voice, only eyes that carried the weight of two worlds. Meanwhile, back home, Emily raised their son Ethan, who grew up hearing stories of a father he barely remembered. Every year, she would write a letter addressed to Michael's last known post. And every year it came back marked "Return to Sender," yet she never stopped. Hope, even when painful, was her only link to him. 12 years later, when U.S. intelligence began collecting witness reports of a silent American aiding civilians across the desert, Emily's heart skipped a beat. She sent a letter to the Pentagon begging them to look again. But bureaucracy is cold. They dismissed it as folklore until those dog tags were found. The Pentagon recovered not just the tags but the journal buried with them. The first half was a soldier's mission log. The second was something else, a memory reborn. The entries, scrawled in shaky handwriting, told of his fragmented recollections, his desperate search for who he was. The final entry read, If anyone finds this, tell Emily I never forgot her. I may not know my name, but I remember her eyes. Tell my son, I was never lost. I was protecting others so no one else had to lose their father the way he lost me. The word spread through the ranks like wildfire. Soldiers who had served with Michael stood in silent salute. News outlets called it the Ghost's last mission. The Pentagon authorized an expedition to locate his burial site, but when they arrived, there was no body, only a small stone marked with Arabic words. He walked among us, and the desert carried his soul home. Back in Virginia, Emily received a box. Inside were his tags, the journal, and a folded flag. But what caught her eye was something else. Tucked between the journal pages, a photograph of their son from 12 years ago. Faded, sand-stained, but preserved like it had been carried close to his heart the entire time. She pressed it to her chest, tears falling silently as she whispered, "You kept your promise, Mike. You never left." In the following months, his story inspired soldiers, families, and strangers across the country. The ghost had become a symbol, not of death, but of duty that never dies. Veterans began wearing small pins engraved with his name, and the Pentagon established the Carter Foundation, dedicated to rescuing missing servicemen and supporting war orphans. Emily and Ethan stood together at his memorial ceremony, surrounded by soldiers who once called him their captain. The Marine commander ended the speech with trembling words. Captain Carter didn't die in that desert. He lived there carrying out the mission we all forgot, to protect, to serve, to be the light in the sand. As the bugle played, the wind rose again across Arlington, whispering through the flags. For a brief moment, Emily swore she could hear his voice, soft, steady, and close. "You can stop waiting, Em. I'm home." If this story touched your heart, if it made you think of the unseen heroes who never made it back, please take a moment to like this video and share it. It helps their memory live on. Special request: comment below. For the ones who never came home, let their legacy echo forever.